despite more of the funding he's given to the FOP, and also has given FOP less accountability when it comes to some of the policies. He said he was going to end stop and frisk. He didn't. He flip-flopped. We knew that was going to happen. But the issue is here is that the argument cannot be, well, you know, we can't blame this on him. You are the face of this city. If not you, then who? Somebody's head got to fall. And to be quite honest, when you vote for people in office, the problem is that you're supposed to make improvements and you can see growth. The poverty rate has remained the same.
Hold on.
The poverty rate.
No, I'm going to fact check you a little bit.
And where did you get those facts from?
Because you said that. I got this from the police department. Because this is what you do. You use conjecture, rumor, and stuff that you heard. I've lived this for 48 years of my life. Under Nutter, the rate was 2010, it was 306, 318, 334. Then it started going down. But that was after his second term in office.
Right.
249, 248. Then it went back up. Hold on.
Wait.
Then it went back up to 280.
And what year? What year? And the year.
280.
And Kenny's year.
This is not no.
Kenny got like
so listen, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
But he didn't take over to 2016.
We're going to take a little time out.
And it's 274. No, it actually went down.
And we'll be right back.
Where is it now?
With the two.
358.
There you go. It has went up.
But what I'm telling you is that murders are...
We got to take a break.
We got to take a break.
Like, if we want to keep the listeners in our... We got to take a break. We'll be back with more Labors Live.
Now, a traffic update on Word Radio. It is a busy start to the commute on the Philly roads. This traffic report, it's sponsored by eBay. On the Schuylkill Expressway, eastbound jam traffic 202 all the way down to Belmont. Again, Montgomery to South Street. Westbound jamming up from University to the Vine. Montgomery out to Belmont. Then your heavy Gladwin out to 476. On the Vine Expressway, eastbound at Jam 76 all the way to 95. Westbound, stop and go the Ben Franklin Parkway to the Schuylkill Merge. 95 heading northbound, jamming from Chichester Avenue to the Commodore Barry Bridge. Again, Vine Expressway to Bridge Street. Southbound 95 jams Bridge Street down to Girard. Then the airport down to 320. Stop and go on the Blue Route northbound, getting on from 95 to north of McDade, and the Boulevard northbound is heavy, the Schuylkill Expressway into Broad Street. On the Walt Whitman Bridge eastbound, you're jammed into Jersey. That's because 42 southbound jams from the Walt Whitman Bridge down to 295. Bigger problems northbound on 42. Here's what's going on. First, 295 northbound, jamming from Westville up to 42. That because on the ramp over 42, there is a jackknife tractor trailer. The right lane is blocked. That spilled debris down onto 42 northbound. So 42 northbound, barely moving from 55 to 295. Left and right lanes are blocked. Only the center lane is getting by, so expect heavy delays throughout that area.
You know when you're shopping and you find that absolutely perfect thing, that feeling you get? And then you see the price, and you're like, wait, it's how much? And then you get sad and eat a donut. But did you check eBay? eBay has that thing you want, for the price you want.
For more traffic information, log on to SigAlert.com. I'm Brendan Joseph with your Philadelphia area traffic.
News you can use.
Exclusively on Wake Up with Word.
Hosted by the rapping professor, Dr. Aaron Smith. Weekdays, 7 a.m. till 10 a.m.
On Word Radio, wordradio.com, and on the Word Radio app.
New Season Books, your source for stories that heal, is now accepting pre-orders for Sex and the Church Girl, a powerful collection of essays exploring the views of Christian women on sex, sexuality, and the church. Available May 14th. Visit newseasonbooks.com for details.
Family Therapy Vignette Moments with Dr. Lucille Ijoy. Let's do some Easter time remembering. Remember when you had to recite your piece in church? Remember singing, "Here Comes Peter Cottontail," hopping down the bunny trail, or Handel's Messiah, the Easter portion. Enjoy a few bars of this classic music and have a beautiful, peaceful Easter, the Hallelujah Chorus.
This is Word Radio, independent black media.
Philadelphia is coming together to support Alan Dom for City Council, number 66 on the ballot. Listen to Philadelphia boxing legend Bernard Hopkins explain why he's standing with Alan Dom in the May 21st Democratic primary.
In all my championship fights, I train to go the distance. Alan Dom, he's going the distance for us, empowering more black entrepreneurs and business owners, helping former inmates get a fresh start, giving our kids access to the educational opportunities they deserve. Alan Dom is a champion who will always fight for us.
Alan Dom, number 66 on the ballot, donating his city council salary back to our schools, fighting to give Philadelphia's children a brighter future. On May 21st, stand with Bernard Hopkins. Vote Alan Dom for City Council, number 66 on the ballot.
Paid for by Dom. You're listening to Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to more Labor's Lives. We have the Battle of the Minds. I am so enjoying this. So continue, gentlemen.
Yes. So what I was saying before,
intellectual conversation.
But you started when you said controversial. So now everybody think it's a battle. There you go. You made it contentious. So back to what I was saying. I just think that it's interesting that in our communities we've allowed this mayor who has done a mediocre job. Mediocre. That's the nicest thing I can say. It's mediocrity at its finest, right? The standard that we hold for white elected officials in office is very different from what we hold for black elected officials. We beat them on the head. We hold them to a high standard. We push them out. We call for them to resign and step down. He can't even call for Bobby Heenan to step down. But he didn't call for all of our black elected officials, too, even with indictments and no convictions. But it's so funny how we can sit up here and let him slide.
Who did he tell to go indictments with no convictions?
Oh, he's Sheriff Joe Williams, who you're supporting.
Sheriff is my man.
Yeah, and he's called for him to resign. He's also
but the sheriff, I think that he was mistaken in that. I think he was mistaken.
You thought the mayor was mistaken in that?
Yes. I'm for Joe Williams.
Right.
Hold on. But Bobby Heenan has the presumption of innocence. And if we look at the case...
Labor guy.
And if we... No, I'm just saying... I'm looking at the case... No, I'm looking at the case of McDonald in Virginia. And McDonald went through all that, went to the Supreme Court, and was found exonerated. I know for a fact, and I'm going to say this.
He's going to jail.
Hold on. I don't think so. And I'm going to tell you why. I know for a fact that I think that I have called my councilmen about doing their job, about certain things in their area that was non-union, to look into it, to make sure that they are doing L&I correctly. All these things are things that I have done as a business manager.
Did you read that 116 count indictment? Because I did.
I did. You know I read it.
So then you know that wasn't all that was happening. So don't insult my intelligence or listeners' intelligence.
I'm not. I'm telling you. I've talked to seven different lawyers, federal lawyers, who told me that Bobby Heenan has an excellent case, and it may even be thrown out. Parts of the case may even be thrown out on summary.
That's unfortunate.
That's just true.
I think that's hilarious. Anyway, he won't call for him to resign, but he's called for Seth Williams to resign. Everybody else down the list. I think Seth should have, but it's funny how he will speak out against those black elected officials and not against the good old boy system that kept his campaign going and moving. You know that Doc was the first person he met after his inauguration. Wasn't you, even though you're a leader that's important. Building trade numbers sucks. We deserve better numbers. You didn't get a call, but you know what? I know you didn't support him, but that doesn't matter. But that shows you what kind of mayor. But just because you didn't support, let me finish. Just because you did not support him, building diversity numbers and building trade should have been up and higher. They're still mediocre, and it's not because of you, but it's because of a mayor who doesn't prioritize it because he's too busy letting the good old local 98 boys get their benefits.
Now you're gonna tell me something now? Now you're stepping in. I don't talk about journalism. I talk about truth, and I'm telling you that Mayor Kinney, he didn't call me. I didn't expect a call. I was vocally against him. I was for Tony Williams.
But how do you feel about? Hold on. Let me finish.
Let me answer the question. The building trades numbers. Every time I've talked to the mayor, when he first called me, it was about how do we increase the numbers. The numbers now that the building trades aren't good enough. They're 29% of all other trades other than the laborers, right? That is not good given the city.
Mediocre.
But it is much better than the law firms, than the engineering firms, and everywhere else. University of Pennsylvania hires, all that. 29%, and we're working towards it. But to say that he doesn't care about it is a flat-out lie. I talk to the man now probably 3 or 4 times a week.
I bet he do.
And
I bet you do. Because he can't talk to Doc. He can't talk to Doc, so he's going to talk to you.
This.
Well,
but
you know what's funny? It's just a politics. He's going to talk to more. He's going to see more black people during this campaign than he has seen during that. I have not seen him walk down 52nd Street. He didn't see more black people. You know what's funny? He needs y'all like he needs the Northwest. He needs you all like he needs the Northwest.
I have invited you. Sam Staten Jr. and I put together a coalition of people called the Philadelphia Community Stakeholders. This is before the election, before anybody was running. And everybody was, the PCOL, prior to it kind of disbanding, was at the table. The Black Women's Leadership Group was at the table. We invited you. Mayor Kenny has addressed that group on 5 different occasions about substantive things that we've been able to get done. The diversity cabinet for diversity hires started out of that do tank, because we don't call ourselves a think tank, we call ourselves a do tank. Hackney has been there. His cabinet, Harold Epps, because we're trying to move that ball forward. So to say that he doesn't care, that was prior to anybody running, and he had to assume that as every other mayoral person that he wouldn't even have opposition. So
all I'm going to say is that I don't judge what people say. I judge people what they do. These numbers are mediocre. We're not over talented, super talented, and overqualified to the point that we don't want those jobs to run the public sector.
Oh, no, I got my brother on the phone, Sam Staten Jr., my partner. I got to bring him through.
Right.
Hey, Sam, how are you?
I'm getting double teamed.
It's not a double team.
By laborers that are getting that.
How's everybody doing?
Good. Hey, what's up, Sam? How are you?
I'm good. I just couldn't help but call it in because I'm listening to our guest talk, and, you know, with the dying blood of labor in me and community, I can tell that he's not fully educated on the part of labor or fully educated as to what we do year-round. And when I'm not saying we, because you're not talking facts when you talk about the building trades, because sitting at the table, I can clearly tell you we're the problem getting people qualified. You go ask any council person, how many people have you sent to the building trades try to get them in the union? It's going to be 0, because we done put the numbers out there numbers of times. When the Mayor Nutter was back here, he put the minority participation up 25%. We couldn't even get 5% of people of color to come to the trade
to show up.
And the doors were open. So I want people, when you're talking, talk from speaking, not what you're hearing, because the assumption is out there because of what it appeared to be. But you look at the facts and go back to the facts. We are there at the table at all times, and we know the history has always been. We had a program, a DAT program, where when we did it, we was graduating 100 people every year, and they were going into the trade. And now we're getting ready to get that back on board because we're getting funding again. So when you talk about the movement, it's important. And these things are going on before Kenny was here. So I keep hearing you talk about Kenny, but these are going away before Kenny. And speaking of the last mayors, it was going on. But even with that, when you talk about having 3 black mayors in a row, tell me where did we go with 3 black mayors in a row? When you talk about people in city council, the black folks in city council, where are we going? So I just want this to be widespread. Don't target one mayor because he's just one person, and you got 17 people on city council. So it's very, very important. They got veto power. So at the end of the day, is the mayor the really one in charge? No, because the city council wants some stuff to happen, it can happen.
Thank you, Brother Sam. And
to hear you keep talking and say mayor, I want you to know.
Can I respond?
The mayor's not the only problem that we have. The mayor's not the only problem we have.
Right.
Look at our neighborhoods in our community. Look at our neighborhoods in our community. He don't live in our district. He don't live in our district. We have council people and state representatives. We got council people that live in our district. And what do we do? Do we attack them? No, they get a free buy.
Sam. Okay. All right, Sam. I hear you. I know him. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Assassinated my character for the past couple of minutes, and I just want to clarify some things. So first of all, I agree with you. These city council people are a mess as well, but it's funny because you all still endorse city council people. You all still support city council people and state reps, and I think it's very inflammatory that we can hold all of them accountable, but not the highest seat in this city, which is the mayor. And what's interesting enough is that we have not actually had 3 mayors in a row. We actually had a gap, actually. Ed Rendell came in, and then Street, and then Nutter, and then we had Kenny. So that's this one thing to clarify. Second of all, here's the issue.
Black mayors, though.
Yeah, but not in a row. We know that there's 3. It's not in a row. So there were some discrepancies there.
Tony, not because Tony Williams going to be the third one, but we couldn't get no support. He's going to be a third one.
Yeah, I hear you, but to go back to what I was saying anyway, it's so funny how we zero in only business trade. So you can get this table, right? You're only talking about one narrow part of the entire city, but you're not talking about the issues that are happening above that. And the problem is that when we try to, as black people, we'll cape for white people all day. We'll throw each other on the bus. We'll cape for this man and say there's nothing wrong. So he's the great white savior. Hold on, let me finish. He's the great white savior. Hold on, let me finish. The great white hope that is saving Philadelphia. Let me see how they cut me off.
But nobody said, because nobody said there's nothing
you
wrong.
want to blame the mayor. No, the mayor needs to take accountability. That when he ran on a platform to improve across the city, that has not been felt. There is a lot of frustration and anger in this city. And for you all to sit up here and be happy that your people, your crew, your groups get their jobs and their benefit.
No, it's not. You got it wrong. Hold on, Sam.
That's not how it goes.
Listen. What I'm saying is the mayor has. You're saying there's no improvement. The mayor put historic funding in education, which we all know. You graduated. You graduated from the University of Pennsylvania. That made it an equalizer for you. So when you put money in pre-K and you put money in education, the graduation rates are up. They're not good enough, no, but things are on an uptick, and we need to go on an uptick, and you can't run against nothing. So what I'm saying to you is, I think that we need to hold everybody accountable to what we're trying to do, and to put us and the laborers in particular into one box, the building trades, that we're bigger than that box. We are the community. When we saw things being, we started the DAP program to integrate all building trades. You know, Sam Sr., his legacy on supporting black politicians so they could be independent to do other things, and we carried that on. We are the #1 funder of independent black politicians in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That is a fact, right? So to put us in that box, the box, and wherever we go, if we get on the board of PHA, you start looking at the contracts over there, they look different. You put us over at the convention center. It was Marion Tasker and myself co-chairing the Diversity and Inclusion Committee that voted to make Donna Ali and Team Clean, the biggest prime contractor in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, period. That happened.
And we just lost the biggest one in the city for black people. $17 million contract.
You lost it based
on impropriety and concerns about them giving out campaign contributions. But it's so funny how this mayor can talk about.
Hold on. You saying that? Don't go by it. There was a law put in place by then Councilman Nutter. It was an anti-pay-to-play bill because of things that happened with people in the street administration. This is true. You can't give campaign donations and not report them and get a contract. That's what happened, period. That didn't happen, and it happened not only to the company. It didn't not only happen to U.S. Facilities, which is run by Dombrowski and Tom Leonard. It ain't only happened to them. It happened to Elliott Lewis, who's run by people that are close to the mayor.
But he replaced them. But he outsourced that. He outsourced that job to a Chicago firm that was white.
He didn't outsource it. He did not outsource it.
Who got the contract? Who got the contract?
Hold on. Let's state facts here.
Who got the contract?
There were 3 bids.
They're white.
Hold on.
They're not black.
Are you going to listen to me? There were 3 bids. 2 companies got taken out. U.S. Facilities, Elliott Lewis got taken out for essentially the same thing, giving up contract. The 3rd company that bid was JLL out of Chicago. They're a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. They're probably white.
They're white.
But it didn't outsource anything. You lost a bid. There are competitive bids.
But we did
when you have a competitive bid and you lose, you lose.
You know, it's funny how we can have this standard When
It's
white
the
people
law.
take the law, like
It's
the
the
law,
law.
like Heenan. Okay, we'll remember that.
It's the
remember
law.
that. Remember that. It's so funny how we don't recognize that.
It's the law.
We
Ernest.
don't Oh, so it's the law.
Is it not the law?
I'm not disagreeing with the law. I'm just saying that you just find
and the
it.
prime sponsor of that was not a white person.
Oh,
it was Michael Nutter.
bias.
No, it was Michael.
I know who created
Michael Nutter,
that policy.
Hold on. Michael Nutter created the policy. It passed city council 16-1. The only person voting against it was Tasco at the time.
Right.
So now it's the law. You have to live within the law.
So you're defending Kenny.
No.
You're defending that. You're
I
defending.
am defending I'm defending the process
So
of the
you're
law.
defending. Okay, that's fine.
I'm defending Marcel Pratt.
So
who
let's
made
take a minute and let Sam get in. He may have to leave. Go ahead, Sam.
They're going to step and bash me. Both of them.
Hold on,
bashing.
Hold on, Ernest.
Listen. It really seems like you really have an issue, and you got a lot of energy, and I can understand the energy, but you're central in the wrong direction. Central in the direction when you talk about the process. Kenny can't get in the office unless the majority of black people put him there. That's for sure. No elected official can get in office unless the majority. What we have done is blame ourselves to a great deal as black people. We put them in office and don't hold them accountable. Our people included. That's what happens.
Agreed.
We don't ever have an agenda. We don't have an agenda when we put these people in office.
Wow.
And by the time we get one, they're out of office. So when you look at this whole big thing, say, hey, it's us that making these big drastic mistakes, not pointing the finger because Kenny doing what Kenny supposed to do. If he's supposed to take care of something, what's wrong with that? We get it backwards and twisted. We get it twisted because we don't do it to ourselves.
Well, I'm going to vote for a black mayor that's going to have a black plan with a black agenda for black people. That's what I'm going to do on May 21st. That's how I'm going to respond to that.
Right.
I'm going to vote for a black mayor that actually has a diversity plan. I'm actually going to vote for a black person that prioritizes black and brown people and don't put us second rate. That's what I'm going to do on May 21st.
Can I ask you a question? As we talk about exempt employees, the senator's chief of staff is what?
You're right.
A white man.
Yeah.
Both of them.
And the majority of staff is of color.
No, we're talking about that. Alan Bukovich promoted a man with a high school degree when he had a guy with a master's degree of color.
I'm not voting for Malcolm. I'm not voting for Alan.
But I'm just saying. So we can have equal standards across the board. Thank you, Sam. I don't want this to seem like a gang up. I'll talk to you later. I appreciate you calling.
I want to be clear that PRWT USF is owned by Willie Johnson, who owns the majority of the company. That was a black man.
Hold on. U.S. Facilities was purchased. Malik Majid is the CEO. Willie Johnson owns a part of that. But U.S. Facilities was run and operated by Dombrowski, and Tom Leonard is a major stakeholder. And I know you're getting your notes, it's fine, but I know this stuff. I know it because I live it, because my people down there. And then we can't take out the fact that their job is to have maintenance contracts for the triplex. The triplex is 1515, which is the Municipal Services Building, and the courthouse and City Hall.
Right.
In the courthouse,
wait,
a major elevator accident happened on their watch.
Right.
So
that happened.
Let's let Sam. You're going to close out before you go.
Yeah, that's what, brother. I really appreciate your energy for sure, and I guess one day I get a chance to meet you. But for sure, I need to just take a broad look at everything that we just talked about today, because you'll find 99.1% is truth, reference to where we stand as people. We don't stick together to make sure we get what we're supposed to have. If you look at your politicians and you just say to them, or look at them and say, look at their district and say, what have you done? Look at the voting percentage in their district.
That's why I'm not voting for Jenny Blackwell then, I guess.
Wow, and on that note, we have to take a break. Okay, sir? So we'll talk to you, and listeners, we'll be right back on More Labor's Live.
Now, a traffic update on Word Radio.
It is a busy start to the commute on the Philly roads. This traffic report, it's sponsored by eBay. On the Schuylkill Expressway, eastbound jam traffic 202 all the way down to Belmont. Again, Montgomery to South Street. Westbound jamming up from University to the Vine. Montgomery out to Belmont. Then your heavy glide went out to 476. On the Vine Expressway, eastbound at Jam 76 all the way to 95. Westbound, stop and go to the Ben Franklin Parkway to the Schuylkill Merge. 95 heading northbound, jamming from Chichester Avenue to the Commodore Barry Bridge. Again, Vine Expressway to Bridge Street. South on 95 jams Bridge Street down to Girard. Then the airport down to 320. Stop and go on the Blue Route northbound, getting on from 95 to north of McDade. And the Boulevard northbound is heavy, the Schuylkill Expressway into Broad Street. On the Walt Whitman Bridge eastbound, you're jammed into Jersey. That's because 42 southbound jams from the Walt Whitman Bridge down to 295. Bigger problems northbound on 42. Here's what's going on. First, 295 northbound, jamming from Westville up to 42. That because on the ramp over 42, there is a jackknife tractor trailer. The right lane is blocked. That spilled debris down onto 42 northbound. So 42 northbound, barely moving from 55 to 295. Left and right lanes are blocked. Only the center lane is getting by, so expect heavy delays throughout that area.
You know when you're shopping and you find that absolutely perfect thing, that feeling you get? And then you see the price, and you're like, wait, it's how much? And then you get sad and eat a donut. But did you check eBay? eBay has that thing you want, for the price you want.
For more traffic information, log on to SigAlert.com. I'm Brendan Joseph with your Philadelphia area traffic.
The Source.
The Source.
Weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Special guest host Renee Chenault Patin every Monday in April.
The Source. Exclusively on Word Radio and WordRadio.com.
Searching for a home care agency that provides care both needed and deserved? Call My Independence at Home at 215-921-2277 for a free in-home consultation. We are committed to providing compassionate home care for the elderly and adults with physical disabilities. 215-921-2277.
The Kimmel Center offers free arts education programs to schools across the region. Teaching artists visit classrooms to educate, engage, and inspire the next generation using creative learning experiences, and schools take trips to the Kimmel Center for live performances. The Kimmel Center is committed to educating Philadelphia's youth by providing access to quality arts. For more information, visit kimmelcenter.org. Be heard. Want another way to join the conversation?
Follow us on social media
using the hashtag onWURD.
Be heard.
Stay connected to Word Radio.
Independent Black Media.
You know we don't play when it comes to our mothers, and if we could give them the world, we definitely would. This Mother's Day, celebrate your mother in a way she'll never forget.
Start or renew your 4Word membership between now and May 8th,
and be entered to win our exclusive 4Word Mother's Day prize package, which includes a pair of tickets to the Mother's Day Music Fest in Atlantic City, Saturday, May 11th, featuring Maze with Frankie Beverly, Christopher Williams, Kem, and Al B. Shore, a gift certificate to Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa, dinner for two at Green Soul Restaurant in downtown Philadelphia, and an overnight stay at the Cambria Hotel Philadelphia downtown. Don't miss this opportunity to create some special memories with Mom. To be entered to win,
start or renew your 4Word membership between now and May 8th
by calling 215-425-7875 or visit wordradio.com. It's the Southwest Spring Fest, happening this Saturday, April 27th and Sunday, April 28th at Bartram's Garden. Connect, learn, and be inspired on the 45-acre National Historic Landmark for activities designed for all ages. Experience a ride on the river with the opening of the Community Boathouse. Browse the plant sale and explore their Bio Blitz. On Sunday, grab your bike and head to the Bicycle Workshop. Enjoy interactive games and a family walk. In the mood for a spot of tea? Be there for the Woman Up Hat and Tea Party. There's lots to do this Saturday and Sunday at the Bartram's Garden Spring Fest. For more information, visit bartramsgarden.org.
You're listening to Word Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, Independent Black Media.
Welcome back to More Labor's Live. I can't hear my mic. That's there? Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, we're good.
You're good. Now listen, now for the people that said they was going to call in and, listen, we Ernest and I feel like we have something to say. We have 10 minutes left.
Yes.
So we're not going to take any callers. But for those people that text me and say, make me call in, I am at 665 North Broad every day. and I'm going to text you my home address so we don't have any weird energy that you can't get to me at any time you want.
Right. So
and then we could deal with that there.
Absolutely.
But Ernest, I guess we were saying, and the passion comes from that our people are, poverty is real, and nobody don't want to say that it isn't. So I appreciate your passion and my passion as well, because for my whole entire life, I have been attempting to uplift black people. That's what I try to do. And I think that you've been doing that. So let's give, why don't you take 4 minutes, then I'll take 4 minutes.
That's cool.
And then we'll close on a minute apiece.
All I'm going to say, perfect. Okay. I just want to say this real quick. To be quite honest, this is sad that it's a lot of black people that's going harder for Kenny than Kenny's going harder for them. I think it's interesting how black people have been used in a way that's really been pushing hard, and we're put against the wall because it's real, right? I understand that you're going up against an incumbent that most likely is going to get elected by certain people's standards because of low voter turnout, and so people are scared. And I know that there are that talented 2.5% of black people in this city that have the resources, the contracts, and the opportunities that many people in the city don't have. The people that live in the Northwest that got their riches, the couple of folks that got their 30 pieces of silver off of the deals of Kenny. And I'm not talking about you, but I'm talking about a lot of other people in this city that are crabs in the barrel, that are benefiting off of these resources and are scared to let go. And I'm telling people that I can't vote with a moral conscience for a white man like Kenny, who have really given the good old boys that don't look like us priority, opportunity, benefit of the doubt, and nuance in ways that he is not for black folks in this city. This city is 66% black and brown. We are not a majority minority city. We're a majority marginalized city. And the real marginalized people are people that don't look like this mayor, nor is the majority of his cabinet that make the decisions outside of himself. Now, we can point the finger all day at all these elected officials, but who leads them is a man like Bob Brady, who holds that might. Most of our biggest institutions that are black that are with black people are being led by white people that hold the political crutch. Bob Brady is holding over the Democratic Party even though he's not even elected. Why? Johnny Doc sits on that committee that helps with those endorsements. Why? You got someone like Kenny who sits up there with a majority white cabinet that makes these decisions that impact black and brown people. Now, yes, I'm not saying that Kenny's going to be able to cure cancer and cure all of poverty, but what I do feel like is that he's not done enough. And that's why it's time to vote someone in office that can do better. And I believe that Buckovitz may not be the answer, but I think that Williams has humbled himself enough to come up with a policy and plan for these. I've heard what he has said at numerous forums, and I really feel like instead of for Kenny getting red and walking out, why don't he stay in these rooms with all types of black people? Not just the ones that have power and equity like you, Ryan, but the everyday people that look like me, that have a voice to say. Why does he dodge my questions? Why does he try to silence me in public forums? Why won't he allow himself to be humbled and held accountable by everyday black people, not just the ones with the power, the clout, the property that have been around these cities for years? I'm ready for Kenny to talk to everyday black people, not just power makers and power brokers. It's time that we let go of that elite system that continue to oppress us. I don't want a safe injection site. I want a safe protection site for our black and brown kids.
Okay.
In a majority marginalized city.
That was his 4 minutes. Ernest, that was a mouthful. I am here. I think that Jim Kenny has done a good enough job to get reelected. He had the courage to fight, to put the soda tax on so that we can actually improve our schools, to put an extra 35, 40 million into schools. In the pre-K, another 20-something million. Parks and Rec, forget about it. No one ever came up with that proposal, and I hear people always now say, well, we could get it from here, you can get it from there. Well, you can't get it from here and there if you wasn't thinking about it. When I coached Little League football at the Cobbs Creek Cats, and we literally had 2 home games in 2 years because if you get a little rain, the field don't have proper drainage and they can't go. And we don't forget about locker rooms and stands like when we go out. And Troy, he played baseball all over. When you go out the suburbs, our children deserve that those children deserve. That's the way you get out of this nihilism and we give our children some hope. Because the reason why we're running around killing each other is because we don't value ourselves. And this pre-K education and giving them top-notch facilities and places to go and good people around will end this crisis. It's not going to end overnight. And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't care who is president. We can dig up mayor. We could dig up Cecil B. Moore, make him mayor, and we still going to face some of the same problems we face now because it's not is not an instant grit solution. This the old-fashioned grits where your grandma used to cook them for 35 minutes. This problem, we're going to have to be there, we're going to have to stick, and we're going to have to stay because there's structural problems. Even the jobs of tomorrow that are coming, our children are not prepared. Their jobs in technology. And if you don't have advanced math and advanced science, the reason why Ernest is here today articulating himself as well as he does is because he got an education. He went to an Ivy League school. That's the equalizer for him. So let's equalize it for everybody. And that's what Jim believes in.
No.
And that's where he is.
Wait. So listen.
Now let me get my last minute. I got another minute. Then we're gonna get a minute each. I'm telling you, fairness is what I'm about. I'm a union leader. I want fair and equitable. Whether you agree or you don't agree, but this is what's going on. People see hope, man, and they realize that he's authentic. He ain't perfect, but he's authentic. Go ahead.
I was going to say that it's sad because, you know, the problem here is that we don't need just the soda tax. See, here's the thing. Under Williams' plan, first of all, we don't need the soda tax. It's a regressive tax, first of all. Most of the money is actually going towards the general fund, not actually for parks and recs. And here's the thing. We already got the bonds on rebuild, so that can happen with or without the soda tax at this point. And also with the soda tax money that you do have, it's $19 million to do pre-K. We can get Universal at a better number. We got a rainy day fund with $360-something million. It's raining right now, and we can get $19 million. Let me finish. But not about the rainy fund. Let me say this part. Let me say this. We need an immediate plan. Pre-K. No, the soda tax is not going to address these immediate issues. You talk about the kids, but what about their parents? What about their parents? These jobs.
Hold on. Let me educate you about something. You're talking about a guy that just now did a bond issue, one of the biggest bond issues that we ever did at the Delaware River Port Authority. If they don't have that tax, their bond numbers goes up and the money actually go down. Ernest. I said Ernest. I'm sorry. I meant to say Ernest. But that is the truth. And you talk about this Williams plan and regressive tax. That's my guy.
That's a regressive tax.
Hold on. But the cigarette tax is a regressive tax, and he says about that.
Sugary beverage tax and
juice
is not cigarettes. There's a reason why we have a cigarette tax versus that. Kids cannot buy cigarettes.
But they can buy diabetes.
You're right. So then if you don't buy soda, then you don't have the money for schools.
Soda is just as dangerous, even more so than cigarettes, because diabetes kill more.
Because that's why the tax is dropping. So that doesn't make any sense. So that means that if we don't have the money, the soda tax, pre-K relies on. You just talked something to a certain.
Okay, we gotta go. Listen, I gotta close this out. We gotta close this out. We got like 30 seconds, I think. I want to thank you both for coming.
I want to thank Ernest Owens for coming. He'll be back.
Thank you all for listening. I just want people to get involved in their communities to make every day a better day. It's been great at the Labor's Live Show. Thank you all. Ernest Owens, Ryan Boyer, is always a pleasure. Cody, Troy, we're out. Have a great weekend. Goodbye.